Hello friends, again before your good self with an important video on the topic small but important points of GST. In today's video, we will be covering 6 important points relating to GST. Number 1. Friends, we all are aware that ITC available in our books of account can be availed only when it is reflected in GSTR 2B. For this purpose, every month we prepare list of invoices available in our books of account and list of invoices available in GSTR 2B so that we may find out the invoices which are available in our books of account but not available in GSTR 2B so that we may follow with those suppliers whose invoices are not reflected in GSTR 2B. But my question to all of you is that do we prepare a vice versa list also? Means invoices available in GSTR 2B but not available in books of accounts. Friends, yes, it is possible that certain ITC which is eligible to be claimed is available in our GSTR 2B but entries relating to those invoices have been missed to be entered in our books of account. Examples of such ITC is ITC available on the services provided by bank. When we sell the foreign exchange to the bank charges certain charges to us from us and pays the GST on those amount and credits only the net realization in our books of account. In our books of account, we enter only the net realization and not the charges charged by our bank. So the GST charged by bank against those services may be left to be claimed by us. It will be available in our GSTR 2B but not available in our books of accounts. So it is always advisable regarding the bank services to prepare a separate list which is available in GSTR 2B and available in our books of account. And if you find any invoices or a number of the invoices are not available in our books of account, you may enter those invoices in your books within the time frame allowed by the government so that invoices on those GST on those invoices may be claimed by you. Another example is ITC on the services provided by the insurance companies, ECGC, etc. These invoices are also sometimes left to be claimed, entered in our books of account. Yet another example is ITC on the plant and machinery. We all are aware that there are two methods to enter the ITC against the plant and machinery. One, we can capitalize the same in our books of account, and another, we can claim it as ITC and later on we can also claim it as a refund if we export our goods with payment of IGST. If we will capitalize this ITC, then we will be allowed the depreciation. Then of course, as per the income tax rate, if you are a partnership firm or a company, only the 25% or 33% benefit of the total ITC will be allowed to you. But if this ITC is availed in your GST ECL, then that not only can be claimed but also can be refunded as a whole. So it is always advisable regarding the plant and machinery that team has capitalized the ITC or has entered the same in your GST so that you can avail it and later on can get the refund also. Second important point is regarding the generation of e-invoices by your suppliers. Friends, now this is the time to know your suppliers. We all take due care to generate the e-invoice on our outward supplies. But do we check that our suppliers are also generating the e-invoice while making supplies to us, whether it is of goods or the services? At present, the limit for generation of e-invoices is 10 CR turnover. With effect from 1st August 2023, it is going to be reduced to 5 CR. Friends, if we are purchasing any goods or services on which our supplier, if liable for generation of e-invoice, and if he does not generate it, then department may disallow the credit available to us on the supplies provided by such supplier. Yes, it is very important to know your supplier and to check whether he is liable to generate the e-invoices or not. Now the question is, from where to check? There is a portal of GST which shows the list of all the assessees who are liable to generate the e-invoices. So it is advised to check all your suppliers who are not generating the e-invoice, whether they are liable to generate it or not. And if they are liable to generate it, then please ask them to issue you e-invoice only. Otherwise, whole of the ITC on the supplies provided by him, if it is a taxable supply, then ITC may be disallowed to you by the government. Now, the third important point is regarding BRC. We all are aware that as per RBI Master Circular, export proceeds are to be realized within a period of 9 months from the date of export. If it is not realized, then GST refunds got issued by us may be required to be refunded back to the government with an interest at the rate of 18%. So we have also advised to you in our previous video to please take monthly EDPMS data from your bank and to check overdue invoices for more than 9 months and try to resolve the issue as soon as possible so that you may not be required to refund the GST and also to pay the interest on that. Now moving forward, our fourth important point regarding GST is regarding the DIN. DIN, Document Identification Number. Friends, do you know that on all the communications received from the GST department, including even the mails, document identification number should be mentioned. If this DIN is not mentioned on the communication, that such communication will be assumed it has never been issued to you and you are not required to reply the same. Friends, this DIN has been insisted upon by the government to maintain the database regarding the communication between the SSC and between the department and to authenticate the genuineness of the communication between the two. So if this DIN number is not mentioned on the communication received by the GST department, whether it is a show cause notice, whether it is a mail or any other communication, then you are not required to reply the same. It is only a piece of paper and it is just a defunct mail. Friends, now moving forward, fifth important point is regarding the premises of office or factory taken on rent from a related party. If we have taken our premises on rent from a related party, then we should take due care that rent is charged as per the fair market value, because sometimes it happens that if landlord is a related party, we just charge as a normal rent only a small amount, so it is not advisable. It is always advisable to charge the rent as per the fair market value. Otherwise, you may face difficulty at the time of GST audit. The proper officer may demand to pay the rent as per the fair market value along with interest thereon, and it may happen by that time period to avail the ITC might have elapsed. So you will not be eligible to claim the ITC on that amount. So it is always advisable to charge the rent as per the fair market value only. Now sixth and the last point is regarding generation of e-way bills. We should take due care that we are generating all the e-way bills on over all the taxable supplies, including exports, in which case the value of the invoice is more than 50,000. So the proper officer at the time of audit, he may say, okay, produce a list of all the e-way bills generated by you, and he may compare those e-way bills along with your sale register. So to avoid the difficulty at that point of time, we should take due care that our team in generating all the e-way bills in proper time frame. Friends, this was all regarding very small points, but very important from the point of view of GST for all of you. Stay tuned with us for more videos. Thank you very much.